All right, good evening and welcome back. This is history dating back to time immemorial as usual right on this channel. And today it's a Black History Day to talk about some historic moments, about some time in the life of black men that have happened in the past. Like you all know, there's been a series of exploitations, uh well, and name me whatever that has been done on the black soil by the white. So today I'll be walking you down the story of a boy by name Otabenga. Otabenga was born around in the year 1883, sometimes around that year, in what is now known as the Democratic Republic of Congo, DR. Is around that time, most African countries were kind of primitive and they're kind of hunter-gatherer society. So he was born around that time into that kind of a society and a family. So when he was kind of captured, right? He was captured in one of the wars. Then, so when he after became a man, when he became a man, his teeth were chipped, like his teeth were sharpened into sharp points, which was part of his tribal customs, like normally part of African custom, which are well to deities. The sharpening of teeth, among many others, like most of us tribe, Otabenga there was small in stature, he was under 5 feet tall and all. His world came crashing down. Yeah, like his world came crashing, sold into slavery when King Leopold II of Belgium, who was nicknamed the Butcher of Congo, established a colony in the Congo DR to exploit its valuable resources. This is one of the known rulers of the world known for exploitation, King Leopold II of Belgium. He established a colony in the Democratic Republic of Congo for the sole reason, I mean, main aim to exploit them of the valuable resources. This doesn't come as a appeasement because obviously people will like try to fight back to defend their territory. The natives will fight back to defend their territories and their home, and you know that was what part of what brought about the crashing of Otabenga's road. Going forward, the demand for rubber then was increasing around the world, and King Leopold II wanted to corner the market of rubber, and I think as at that time, Congo Democratic has lots and lots of rubber as part of its mineral resources and abundance. So he subdued the native population of Congo to force them into laboring on the rubber plantations. Forcing the people to work on their own farm and then taking the proceeds away. Like, how crazy does that sound? That was kind of exploitation then. Then in the 17th century, that 1883 around that time or thereabout. Millions of these Congolese people died under his reign, obviously. Forced labor market. You can't expect lots and lots of people to have the strength to survive this cruel and heartless moment. So, going forward on the Congo Republic women were held hostage until their men returned with enough rubber for the colonizer King Leopold. Some of them had their hands chopped off for not meeting the rubber quotas. In this regard, most of the wife of Congo men then were held captive in Belgium, taken over by King Leopold's men. So until the men returned, like the men will themselves be the one to like cultivate the rubber plantation, make do it, like just harvest it and take it over to Belgium to meet the colonizer King Leopold II himself. Some of their hands, that of the wife or the husband, were chopped up for not meeting the rubber quotas. How crazy does that sound? But then part of what brought out the crashing down of Otabenga's road was that Otta was out on a hunting expedition when his village was attacked by the slavers, that is the King Leopold II's men. Whether they were First Public or an African group working to collect people to sell to them varies from the story to story, but then it was taken a captive. You know, like it is said, 90% of humankind history has been lost, so you never can tell what exactly happened, whether it's a group of people wanting to collect people. But in the nutshell, Otabenga was also taken a captive. And on the other side of the globe, a man by name Samuel Werner was preparing exhibit for the 1904 World Trade Fair. The fair's organizer wanted to do an exhibit showing the progress of mankind from the dark prime to the highest enlightenment, from savagery to civic organization. This part was going back to the part of Otabenga. He was like kind of be kept in a cage, like, and used to kind of portray an animal like being kept in a zoo, like a human zoo, where people will like just come around and take a look at the black guy. That was part of the cruel thing Otabenga was subjected to during his time of slavery. He was given a hefty budget to collect live specimens of people from Africa to represent the savage depth from which mankind has sprung. Obviously, the experience of young men at the fair, it is the woman zoo, like I've said earlier, was not a pleasant one. Billed as cannibals, they shook spears at the crowd and grimaced with their foul teeth, made with their war dances. A typical African has its own native dance, native language, and every other thing, which the colonizers, the whites, then find it quite amusing, and they take and derive fun and joy in taking a look at that. So Werner sent Otter to the American Museum of Natural History in the New York City in 1906. Going forward on his expedition, Werner found a new home for Otter, which was the Bronx Zoo. How crazy can that be? Otabenga was put as an exhibit, which is a plaque was erected describing it in some way. An animal will be described and put into a cage. Like Otabenga was literally put into, like, not even literally, was put into a cage, just like a monkey would be put into a cage, and then placed in the kind of a center of a room or a museum where people would just have a look and a cheer at him. Something like a cage in the monkey house. The Minneapolis Journal declared Otter to be the missing link between chimps and human. Imagine some kind of journalism describing a human being as the missing link between chimpanzees and human. So on the 19th of March 1916, he stole a revolver gun and shot himself through the heart. That was how he committed suicide, just to free himself from the pain of being subjected to the mockery of being black and all. I think on the long run, a kind of statue was, a kind of tomb was erected in his honor years after. But then it is noteworthy to remember that the black race have suffered lots and lots of prejudice and hardship from the so-called whites. I mean, the colonials, like the colonizers. And this is an example of Otabenga's story that touched the hearts of many who care to listen, who care to read, or who care to know about the history. It will remain a Black History Day for Otabenga and the whole world, especially the Democratic Republic of Congo, having one of them to go through this dehumanizing moment from King Leopold II of Belgium. All right, until I come your way next time, keep viewing, keep watching, like, subscribe, and comment. Thank you.